Welcome to Great Games Worth Your Time. Here, I talk about and examine games on Scratch that do plenty to stand out. I'm not going to be talking about any old FNAF fan game, box platformer, or anything generic like that. The games I talk about are the diamonds in the rough. Tale of Sacrifice is a turn-based RPG on Scratch, developed by RendHeaven, Kneebones, Smorborant, and Amboris Dallas. Despite being a game on Scratch, its quality is quite high. It features an original soundtrack that simply slaps, and it fits the game perfectly well. The art in the game is very good, so you can tell that the artists took their time on almost every little detail. It has a minimalistic story, much akin to FromSoft games. The game also features a unique system where certain moves are consumables. You can find them throughout the overworld in little chests. If that wasn't enough, the game lets you access alternate versions of moves. Neutral is the basic normal mode, where everything does what you expect to some degree. Rage lets you get towards having the upper hand, but most moves with Rage leave you seriously vulnerable. Focus mode allows you to play smart, because Focus Guard is vital to your survival. Also, most moves with Focus are improved yet more costly versions of Neutral's moves. Now then, the only thing left to talk about is the story. Spoiler warning, go play the game, stop watching this video. I've linked it in the description, as well as the creator's Scratch profiles. You begin the game guarding who appears to be an escort. After some light talk in the beginning, telling of how the area is infested by something called blights, you're able to walk forward, countering your first enemy. You can take it down in a few hits, but it can do the same to you. After a bit more fighting of these enemies called blights, you hear a yell from behind. Something happened to the escort. As you run back, you only find a blight. After you defeat it, you encounter a man. He introduces himself as Arlen. He says that he's a scientist and that he wants your help in saving humanity. He explains that all blights were once human and that it spreads through contact. The blight you just killed was probably the man you're escorting. Dark. Arlen then comments on how the player seems blight-proof. After the player questions what Arlen wants with him, he states that he wants to harvest our cells. Millions will be saved, but you will die. The player replies with no thanks. Arlen asks the player if he has family. After a negative response, the player is made unconscious. You come to in what appears to be a cave. After opening a chest, you see a letter. They say Icarus flew too close to the sun. How can man be so intelligent, yet so unwise? Doom is upon us. We are blighted one by one. The spread is uncontrollable. If only I had been more vehement in my opposition of the Academy's mutation research. We dared to tamper with the Creator's design. Perhaps this is all divine judgment. Yet still, I feel unspeakable guilt for my passivity. Signed, Arlen. It appears that a group or place called the Academy was conducting research, possibly a mutation on humans. They were the cause of the current state of the world. The letter tells of how Arlen tried to stop it, but failed. We push through the area, fighting off blights. You find another letter. Sophia, my one true love, is now a blight. On the brink of despair, I see you, Sophia, in the eyes of our daughter. She is my only reason to keep fighting. If I manage to return you to humanity, know that it was Saga who kept me sane. I will bring you back, and then we can all be together again, just like the good old days. Signed, Arlen. You encounter a blight with long hair, resembling that of a female. This is a hard fight. This blight attacks many times, rarely giving you any spare turns. After defeating it, it's not long until you encounter him again. He asks if you had liked his abode, and he introduces his daughter, the previously mentioned Saga. Saga, however, is not human. Saga is, in fact, blighted. The protagonist mentions that Saga was Arlen's daughter. Arlen replies back with, I love her no less for being a blight, but I will still do anything for her to be human again. You want to sacrifice me? That's right, I refuse. I understand. Prepare yourself. The battle is difficult. Thank goodness that there's a save point right before the battle. It'd be a real shame if there wasn't. After hitting Arlen once, he gains a buff. Perma Reflect. All of the damage you deal to him will also be dealt to you. Do note that if you hit him with, say, a delete or just a ton of damage, you won't get hurt if he's already at 0 health. After you eventually defeat him, he says the following: "You are strong. Why do you fight? To survive. One day, you will be the only one left. You will be all alone. I'm used to it. How will you move forward? Kill more blights, I guess. They are human. Not anymore." You hear Saga speak, trying to say human. Arlen says that he is blight-proof. He will be the sacrifice. The protagonist promises to fulfill Arlen's wishes, to feed Arlen's cells to Saga, and to take care of her. They shake hands. The end. In conclusion, Tale of Sacrifice is a solid turn-based RPG. I could easily see this as some indie game on itch.io. The quality is much higher than most games on Scratch. I recommend this to any RPG player, though the difficulty may be a turnoff for new casual players. This is a game worth your time. This is the Master at Nothing, and thanks for watching.